I'm Sharon Howard from thehealthyrunner.com and Transformation Physical Therapy. And today we're going to talk about exercises to do and what to avoid when you're having low back pain. So the first thing is that most people know that if you have low back pain, you should strengthen your core muscles. And a lot of people don't realize that there are ways to do that that can actually make your back pain worse. So the first point that I always tell my patients is that if you're having low back pain and you're doing an exercise, or really if you're doing an exercise even if you don't have low back pain, and you're not able to keep your back stabilized, so if the exercise is on your back, then you should be able to keep it flat on the ground. If it's any other position, you should be able to maintain a neutral spine. If it's not able to do that, then you're doing an exercise that is too hard for the level of your abdominal strength at that time. The other thing to watch for is that when you're doing an exercise, you should be able to pull your belly button to your spine. You shouldn't see it doming up. Even if you're doing like a crunch, there's a difference between like seeing your muscles or your skin kind of bulge just because they're coming closer together, versus you'll notice like a doming effect if you're not keeping those abdominals pulled in tight. If you're doing that, it puts a lot of pressure on that low back because the abdominals are not supporting that exercise. So those are the two things to look for as you're going through exercises. I also suggest that if you're having low back pain, that you avoid anything where you are piking. So any like boat poses in yoga, or V-ups, or even like an ab roller is a little bit too much strain on that low back. Sit-ups, those kinds of things can put a lot of strain on the low back and should be avoided when you're having back pain. I've seen clients that come to me that can't understand where their back pain came from, and as we talked through the workout that they did recently, they had a workout where it was just a ton of abdominals, a lot of pikes and V-ups and that kind of stuff, and then they end up having a lot of pain. So anything where you're kind of jackknifing your body together, you have to be able to really control it, and it's not an exercise you want to do if you're having low back pain. So let's talk about a few exercises that are great for low back pain. So one of my first ones that I start clients with is pelvic tilts. This one is great because you can get some good blood flow to the spine, and it's pretty minimal strain, but it helps to kick in those deep abdominal muscles. So you're just going to rock your pelvis, laying on your back with your knees bent. You're just going to pull your belly button to spine and rock your pelvis forward and backward. Okay, and in this position, you can also do a modified dead bug. So starting with pulling your belly button to spine, again, you want to make sure that when you're doing any of these exercises, you can keep your belly flat and it's not doming up into an arch, okay? So this one, you start with just doing arm and legs. You can reach apart. Okay, and then if that is pretty easy, you can try lifting up the legs as long as you can maintain that belly button to spine. And then you're going to do a little bit more challenging one at a time here. So another great one for low back pain is just a simple cat-cow. So going to your hands and knees position, pulling your belly button to your spine. You're going to look up and breathe in, and then blow out. Breathe in and blow out. Okay, and then while maintaining a neutral spine and your belly button pulled in, you're going to do bird dogs. So you can reach opposite arm and leg, reaching out and then together. And then other side, reach out and then together. And then another great exercise to do is the plank. And with this one, you want to make sure that you're able to keep your body neutral. So you can do it either on your hands, or a lot of people like to start on their elbows, their forearms, just to help keep any strain from the wrists or the elbows. So just coming down to your forearms for a forearm plank, and then up onto your toes. You want to pull your belly button to spine, squeeze your glutes, and you're just going to hold that position. And they've actually done studies showing that somebody who can hold a plank longer is less likely to have back pain. So there is some correlation if you're doing a plank the right way, and just how strong your, how much it kicks in your abdominal muscles and the core strength. So it's a great one to do once you're able to hold that. If you feel like you're not keeping your back neutral and you're starting to arch when you're doing a plank, so if you're starting to come down like this, or you feel like you have to lift your hips up, then you want to just start with really short increments, because once you get to those positions, it's no longer benefiting your back. So you want to make sure you're able to squeeze the glutes, pull the belly button to spine, and hold that position neutral. Okay. All right. So another exercise that we're going to talk about is the bridge. So going back to your back, you can do a segmental bridge. So you're going to kind of start with that pelvic tilt that we did earlier, and lift up into a bridge, squeezing your glutes, and then coming back down. So this added little rotation, thinking of it coming up one segment at a time up, and then one segment at a time down. That just helps to get that mobility through that low spine as well. So pulling up, squeezing the glutes to protect that back, making sure you're not overarching, but keeping it just to where your body gets neutral, and then rolling back down. And another good one for the back is just doing some gentle cobras. So coming hands under your shoulders, and then just lifting, squeezing the glutes so that you protect that low back. Anytime you're going into extension, you want to make sure you're squeezing the glutes. Otherwise, the pressure is just going into your spine. So squeeze the glutes and lift up. All right. And then one final exercise that we're going to talk about is so you're going to go face down, and you're going to put your heels together, and then you're going to squeeze your heels together, pressing them together, squeeze your glutes, and then lift your knees up off the ground and hold it. And relax. So again, squeeze the glutes, lift the knees, and hold it. So that one kicks in those deep spinal stabilizers to help support the back. I hope that these exercises and tips are helpful to you. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know and reach out in the comment section. All right.